Bernard Clark Jr. is the first-year head coach with the Robert Morris Colonials. He joins us here, as well as Adam Wollet, linebacker, and Eric McAllister, a lineman. I was just glad that Adam did not decide to tackle me on his way up the stage. He had over 100 tackles last year, and certainly one of the more dominant defensive players in this league. And I think that's what Coach Clark has got to be very happy about, because when you inherit a team that's got a guy like that on its roster, you kind of, hook your wagon to him, if I can get that out.
We are only here so we don't get fined. I'm just joking with you.
I can get you some Skittles if you like.
I'm just joking with you. No, you're absolutely right. The great thing about Adam is he has developed as a leader more than anything else. When we first showed up in the spring as a coaching staff, one of the guys that stood out in morning workouts was Adam, but also Eric was a young man that stood out for us also.
Yep.
What's it feel like? First year, head coach, a lot to put together, organization, learning the ins and outs of the players, the way things are done at Robert Morris, et cetera, et cetera. What has been the most difficult challenge of all?
Probably the most difficult challenge is just getting the guys to understand that I care about them, because I'm getting after them pretty good more than anything else. But I feel they don't care what you know until you know what you care. You've heard that 100 times. But the thing that's been important is building the culture, trying to get the right culture there, trying to get our guys to understand that we care about you, we love you as people. We're not always going to like you, but we love you as people. We're trying to get this thing rolling, and these are the things we feel that's going to help us get it rolling.
Coach Clark comes over after being the defensive coordinator at Albany, also a career with the Miami Hurricanes and in the NFL. And so we are very, very honored and privileged to have him in the league. Fellas, I want to ask you this, because I've heard now, rumor, little birdie tells me, that when he was up there at Albany, he always got his players to overachieve and to max out at all times. From what you've been able to learn from him to this point, what is it that brings out the best in you guys? What is it about him that does that?
I mean, Coach Clark always brings a lot of energy, and honestly, if he told me to run through a wall, and I knew I couldn't run through it, but if he talked long enough and I listened enough, I would go ahead and try and do it. I mean, he just is that type of energy, that type of guy, and he'll really make you believe in yourself and try and do things you don't believe yourself you can even do.
Same perspective?
Yeah, definitely. Just going back to our first encounters in morning workouts, he kept himself accountable as well. That's one big thing. So, as he talks to us about keeping ourselves accountable, doing the right thing, all these different things, seeing that embodied in him and in the staff that he's put together as our coaching staff is something that really hits home and something that we can relate in our own lives and our own careers.
Adam, I got to ask you this. Now, 3 years I've been doing it, I've never seen as many injuries as I've seen on your team. It's amazing. But defensively, you guys, despite the problems that have happened on the offensive side, I've certainly been in enough programs to see sometimes when that happens that there's some moaning and groaning and pointing the fingers, et cetera, et cetera. I never got that sense seeing with you guys. It always seemed like you guys continue to play as hard as you could and seem very, very supportive of the offense, which quite frankly was struggling at times.
Yeah, one of the things on defense is, and college football, is just control what you can control. That's something our old coordinator really pushed for us. And then, luckily with this new staff, we're bringing it all together. We don't want it to be offense, defense, special teams. We're one team. Just on the way up here, Coach Clark, Eric, is the offensive guy, I'm defensive guy. I want to give him a hard time and stuff, but that's not our mindset anymore. We're one team, we're one unit, we're one everything, and so that's something we hope to see go away, the offense, defense. If we need 35 points to win, we're going to get 35 points. If we need 0 points given up to win, that's what we want.
Eric, one of the things that'll help to get that offense going, besides staying healthy, you guys, again, I've never seen anybody beset with injuries like you guys have been, but that offensive line's got to become more stable, more cohesive, stay together a little bit. It just seems like there's been such a turnover at that position. But it seems to me if you're going to get it done, it's going to have to start with you guys up front.
Definitely. Every position group's important, but I believe it starts, up front. The line, we have a great coach, great offensive line coach, Coach Holder. Right now, he's just, taking us back to the fundamentals. We're just learning everything again. doing everything, the little things right, the right way, and hoping that eventually that'll just compound, and then we'll get to games on Saturdays, and everything will be second nature, and then we'll see that come to fruition.
Coach, one of the things you've got to get squared away is your quarterback competition. I guess Jimmy Walker's the incumbent.
Yes.
I saw that LSU transfer Caleb Lewis is also on your roster. How do you think this thing is going to shake out during the course of the next month or so?
But so far, it's been a great competition more than anything else. Jimmy is the returning starter more than anything else. But the great thing about Caleb, I recruited Caleb coming out of high school when I was at Albany.
Okay.
Caleb was a 4.6 student with a 32 ACT. He went to LSU on a presidential scholarship. So in 3 years, Caleb has graduated from college. So Caleb is right now going for his master's. So we got a guy who's the returning starter in Jimmy, but we also have a guy who's hungry, who hadn't played the last 3 years there. So he's still learning, and also Jimmy's still learning because we got a new offense that's going in. And so we got to make sure those guys are on the same page. But we feel like we got two great competitors that's going to bust their butts to get that starting job.
Adam, it sounds like you got some competition in the classroom for the first time maybe in a while.
That's right, academic All-American over there in Wollet. What was the schedule or the plan that you wanted to implement in terms of how you wanted to get things done the first couple of months? Then, okay, now it's July. Then it's going to be September. What are the litmus tests for you as you take over this program in your first season?
Well, the first thing, and I've said this more than anything else, the first thing when I came in were the rules. There was 3 rules that we're going to stick by more than anything else. First rule is we're going to be on time for everything. Make sure you're there, make sure you're doing what you're supposed to, make sure you're in place, on time for class, on time for meetings. The second thing is a cell phone rule. Guys don't like it. It's kind of a crazy rule, but it's a rule that we believe in more than anything else. If we've started a meeting and you're there on time, if I see the cell phone, it's 300 yards of up downs. If the cell phone goes off, we take it for 48 hours. So we take it for 2 days. If you're not sure what 48 hours is, I tell them it's 2 days. And our last rule is I don't want to hear the N-word. Don't like it. It's despicable. So every time we hear it, it's 10 push-ups, no matter where it is. If I'm walking across campus, you're talking to a girl, I hear the word, you're giving me push-ups. And we got to understand that. So that's how you start the ground rules of what we're looking for and the kind of discipline that we're looking for. And we just went on from that page more than anything else. And all the coaches have come on board what I believe in. And so we came together. The first thing I did in my first staff meeting was thank all the coaches for joining me on this journey, trying to get things going and trying to help the coaches understand that we got to show these players how much we care about them as people and how much we want them to grow as people, not just on the football field. We're trying to create better men, better husbands, and better fathers for the world and not just for a football program.
That is Robert Clark, Jr. He is the new head coach at Robert Morris, and we wish the Colonials all the best of luck, and welcome to the NEC.
Thank you very much. And that's Bernard Clark, Jr. Don't worry about it.
What did I
It's
do?
Good.
Robert, you said.
I'm sorry.
I was going to give him hell afterwards, but good. I'm glad you did
Fellas, every once in a while, a slip of the tongue. Let's go back out to John.